Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about a game that surprised the hell out of me, and this is a game I never knew anything about until just very recently. Desert Assault is a 1991 run and gun arcade game by Data East. In this arcade game, up to 4 players control 4 soldiers holding machine guns and other weapons while fighting their way through the terrorist arsenal to take control of the Persian War. And this is a game I never seen in arcades. I never even knew it existed until I stumbled upon it on MAME. Well, I say stumbled upon it. A mate of mine actually recommended it to me. He said it's just my cup of tea and that I would love it. And he wasn't wrong at all. This game is a whole barrel load of fun, mixed in with a good blend of destruction, explosions, and of course, flamethrowers. Everybody loves a flamethrower. The game has a similar feel to Capcom's Mercs, although it doesn't look quite as good as Mercs in my opinion, but it still has that early 90s Data East look to it. The action is fast and frenetic, and in this game, the enemy shots seem to move along quite quick, and they can fill the screen quickly as well, something which makes a refreshing change from other games of this type. Visually, as I mentioned already, the visuals are a little rough around the edges, but overall they are pretty impressive. The small sprites are not the best animated and are devoid of detail, but they look fine. And there are some neat graphical touches in the game that may get overlooked. For instance, if you look at your character's avatar when running low on life, they start to look ravaged and distressed. Something which in the heat of battle in the arcade was not immediately obvious, as you are always looking around the screen to avoid enemy fire. The backgrounds in the game are fairly average. It's mostly a desert scene or building of some type, but sometimes the action will take a detour into the building, and then this slight transparent overlay takes over to show the border wall of the room. And this is actually a very neat graphical effect, and the only other time I have seen this effect was in Super Mario World on the Super Famicom. And back in 1991, if I had played this in the arcades, I would have been well impressed with it. The music in this game is outstanding. It's a very hard rocking, head banging soundtrack. It's probably one of the best in-game soundtracks I have heard ever. It's very early 90s inspired, and it just rocks along with the intense action of the game. The sound effects are brilliant, There is a fair amount of speech in the game, and there always seems to be something being said between comrades. The whole thing provides this unbelievably brilliant atmosphere to the game, and I can't believe I never seen this about in my youth. I know I would have played it a whole hell of a lot back in the day. And speaking of playability, I have to say this game is brilliant. There is something weirdly satisfying as you invade an enemy encampment in the desert, only to be a few yards away from an Iron Maiden concert. That's how it feels. The soundtrack adds so much to this game, it really does. And there is another neat little feature I want to cover off with the playability. In multiplayer modes, when a teammate is low on life and they start to slow down, another player can go over and support them by the shoulder to help carry them through the battle. It seems like such a small addition, but it's pretty brilliant in my book, and I do not recall seeing this in any other game. It really does help promote a team ethos. But I am sure that back in the day, if me and my mates were playing this game, then it would be a feature that probably wasn't used by us, even though we were mates. There was always this strong sense of competition between us. And don't ever forget this: a friend in need is a pest. The game is pretty tough. The challenge is enough to be addictive, but not so tough that it drives you away from the game. I watched some footage of this in 4-player mode, and it looked like a right hoot. And I was immediately recalling all the memories about all the other 4-player games I played with mates from my youth. And I think they would all have enjoyed this game as well. The game was known as Thunder Zone in some regions, and I think that is a better name. It's more appropriate, I think, especially with the thumping awesome rock soundtrack. But regardless of the name, it's 90s sprite-based arcade shooting at its very finest, and I struggled to put it down after playing it, and that is a mark of a very good game in my opinion. I do not think it got released onto home formats, and I am unclear of the kind of numbers it did in the arcades. So it may have been a bit of a flop, which is why it never got a home port. But I would like to think that sometimes certain games are better suited to the home or emulation. Think on it like this: there are some films that are flops in the box office, like Shawshank Redemption, but then do a massive trade on home video and even on TV. And Shawshank was one of the best films ever made. Now, I'm not saying Desert Assault is the best arcade game to never get a home port or anything, but I would liken it to Deep Blue Sea. A terrible movie experience in the cinema, but a great B-movie and an excellent DVD. And thanks to MAME, a lot more of those overlooked games, or even the ones you may never have known anything about, get a chance to have a second shot at life and provide great memories to a whole new audience. I love being surprised by old games that I never played. It makes me ponder how I never seen it or played it, yet at the same time serves as a reminder of what a different time it was for video games before the internet, before social media, and before arcades became obsolete. And I miss those days, I really do. But anyway, that was my look at Desert Assault. Give it a go if you have the ability to do so. And a massive thanks to everyone who has subscribed, commented or thumbed up or down to any video on my channel. Your feedback is most appreciated, and there is nothing left for me to say other than that's all from me, folks. Thanks for watching.